Moments ago, one of the highest-ranking cardinals in the church, who has been under pressure in the crisis that the church is undergoing, has now demanded a meeting with the Pope. He says that he's suggesting that it may be time for him to step down. Trace Gallagher, live in our West Coast newsroom with the breaking details tonight on this story. Hi, Trace.
Hi, Martha. The letter in no uncertain terms is really laying out the fact that in the wake of the Pennsylvania grand jury report, Cardinal Donald Wuerl, who has been under tremendous pressure, is planning to resign. To the D.C. priest, he writes in part, and I'm quoting here, "I was asked by our Holy Father, Pope Francis, to discern the best course of action for me to pursue as we face new revelations of the extent of the horror of the clergy abuse of the children and failures of episcopal oversight. At issue is how to begin effectively to bring a new level of healing to survivors who have personally suffered so much, and to the faithful entrusted to our care who have also been wounded by the shame of these terrible actions." Now, he goes on to write, quoting, "As a fruit of our discernment, I intend in the very near future to go to Rome to meet with our Holy Father about the resignation I presented nearly 3 years ago, November 12, 2015. Keep in mind, in the Catholic Church, cardinals are required at the age of 75 to submit their resignations to the Pope, which he did. The Pope did not accept that resignation." Now, you should also note that the Pope did accept the resignation back in July of Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, right, the former Archbishop of Washington. And we should note the 2-year investigation in Pennsylvania covered every diocese in the state except for 2, and it found that more than 1,000 children were identified as victims, adding that the number really could have been multiple thousands if more people had come forward. The examples listed were horrific, including a priest who molested a dozen young boys and a bishop who later wrote a letter of recommendation thanking him for helping God's people, another priest who admitted raping and sodomizing a boy who was later called by a bishop a person of candor and sincerity. It remains unclear if Pope Francis will accept Cardinal Wuerl's resignation, but experts in the church and the diocese believe that he will, especially considering the number of voices, including a prominent D.C. deacon, recently asking Wuerl to step down. We should note that because of death and statute of limitations in that grand jury report in Pennsylvania, only 2 priests were following charges in the wake of that report. It sounds as though the cardinal will submit his resignation. Experts in the church think it will be accepted.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tracy. You know, the issue with Cardinal Wuerl, at least at this point, is just whether or not he knew about some of these activities and did not come forward with it, which is, you know, would be egregious if that's the case. And we also showed our viewers last week that people openly protested, just a couple of them in his church, which is just a huge development because he is one of the most respected cardinals in the church. And now you've got 6 or 7 other states that are just launching these attorney general investigations. So this isn't going away anytime soon. There's going to be a lot more to come out. Trace, thank you very much.